On this week's Waypoint, North American password changes, the origins of Lucian, Skarazard updates us on Rengar, the results of the Freljord, and the LCS recap for Week 9. All that and so much more, so pull up a chair, cause it's gonna be a long one. What's up guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap for August 22nd, 2013. I'm your host, Mike Schaffner. Now first up this week, just a quick security update for all North American accounts. An announcement came straight in from Riot Tryndamere and Riot Rise, stating that they are sorry to announce that a portion of the North American accounts were compromised. Usernames, email addresses, salted password hashes, and some first and last names were accessed. As a measure to keep accounts safe, players with North American accounts will be required to change their passwords to stronger ones that are much harder to guess. You will be automatically prompted to change your password when you attempt to log into the game, but if you'd prefer to do it manually, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below. Game Trailers has released a video interviewing Riot about their process of creating Lucian, their latest AD carry being introduced to the game. In the video, Champion Team product owner Paul Beleza and Associate Champion designer Daniel Klein talk about Lucian's inception, development, and even break down his gameplay. Lucian was a champion that started out in summer of 2012 and was heavily inspired by the likes of Blade, The Matrix, and even Equilibrium. The Rioters also gave some additional feedback on why Lucian was even held back from the latest patch and talk about reworks to some of his toolkit. Now, Lucian looks so kick-ass, and the fact that he's an AD carry based around free movement means that I'm super excited to get my hands on it. I personally enjoy the melee playstyle, and being able to nuke a single target while being ranged and on the move, to me just makes a great dueling champion and sounds like something that's right up my alley. There has been an ongoing discussion for a while now about all of the changes going into Rengar. Skarazard has constantly been sharing his insight on all of the changes, but this time gave massive updates on not just the Bone Tooth necklace, but also Rengar's kit. Now, I'm going to read up on all of the changes here, but it's important to note that if there is no mention of a mechanic that's either live or has been addressed previously, it's safe to assume the mechanic hasn't changed. It's important to remember that during the recording of this video, these changes are still subject to change and may or may not reflect the final result. With that being said, first up is the Bone Tooth necklace, now starting at 10 AD and gains 1 AD per level. It will increase damage to monsters by 20% and can be built from Hunter's Machete, a longsword, and 100 gold. At 3 stacks, Rengar will gain flat movement speed while out of combat or in the brush. 6 stacks will increase his leap range. 9 stacks will increase the duration of Thrill of the Hunt. And at 14 stacks, Rengar will gain percent movement speed for 2.5 seconds upon exiting the brush. As for his abilities, Battle Roar will no longer grant armor or magic resist, and enemies that are hit with Battle Roar will have their attack damage reduced. Bola Strike will now be a skill shot and has increased range, but the big change that comes to Rengar is his ultimate. Thrill of the Hunt had its cooldown decreased and its duration greatly increased, while no longer playing a voiceover or giving an icon to enemies that are in Rengar's detection range. Casting this ability will consume your current ferocity, but for each point consumed, it will increase the duration by 1 second. A major topic of change is that it will no longer grant Rengar stealth, but to compensate, Riot is trying to make it harder to get away by increasing its movement speed. Finally, Rengar's first basic attack while in Thrill of the Hunt will cause him to leap towards his target and give him additional movement speed. He will retain this movement speed for 3 seconds after leaping. Now there's a lot of changes and information to be had here, and Skarazard goes into even more detail as to why these changes were made and follows up with responses. If you have any questions or are concerned by any of these changes, I highly recommend that you guys head over to the forums and read up on everything that's been posted. To do so, we'll provide you a link in the description below. Quickly making its way to the front page of Reddit was a post by Popochka, who wanted to know the result of the Freljord event. Asking questions like what faction gained more followers and how many players were engaged, as well as what will become of Freljord now that the event is over. Well, lead designer Kate took to the forums to share some insight on all of the collected data. The Frost Guard, who's led by Lissandra, received the most worldwide support. However, all 3 tribes landed in the number 1 slot in at least one region. Across the world, it was a close race, with Winter's Claw in Korea tracking the lowest of all the results, but still coming in at 26.2% of the players. As for the future of the Freljord, only time will tell, but the event did set the stage for future stories and conflicts in this harsh and icy region. Kate finished up the post by leaving us with some cryptic words stating that if the Watchers return, that would make things interesting. Looking for an easy way to earn some Riot points? American Express Serve is now offering a new way to earn Riot points when you sign up and start using their full-service reloadable prepaid account. You can even earn as much as 10,000 RP for the first time you use the direct deposit of $20 or more. The card design comes in a few variations, allowing you to represent the Fields of Justice with either Teemo, Vi, Lux, Twisted Fate, the Summoner's Cup, or even the League of Legends logo. A few things to remember before you sign up is that there is no credit check or minimum balance, but the account holders must be 18 or older, be a US resident, and have a North American League account. If you meet these qualifications, head on over to serve.com/League of Legends to start earning today. Taking a look into some of the changes on the PvE, it's been a relatively slow week. The only changes of note to bring up is that the Lightbringer and Hextech Sweeper now have faint circles to indicate the range on which they will reveal invisible traps. Now remember, this is only the PvE, so all content is tentative and might not reflect what gets pushed to live. But the big news on the PvE this week are the announcement of the new summer skins. So break out that beach towel and get ready to celebrate the end of summer with these exciting new champion skins for Graves, Leona, Lee Sin, and Renekton. First up, Pool Party Graves strips down to his swim trunks while wielding the Super Soaker of any 9-year-old's wet dream. Lee Sin gets laid while carrying around a coconut drink. Leona keeps it casual with an elegant sundress while wielding an umbrella sword and surfboard shield, and Renekton keeps the water safe high atop his lifeguard post. Currently, all champion skins will be on sale for 975 Riot points, however Graves will eventually go to 1350. All 4 of these champions really bring the summer home, but I think I'm most excited about Leona and Graves. I mean, for a while now I've been looking for an excuse to pick up Leona, and as for Graves, I mean, come on, that's Super Soaker. Where was that when I was growing up?
That was only a warning shot.
Moving on to some esports, let's take a look at the NALCS recap for Week 9. Dignitas vs Curse. Curse takes the early lead on kills and team fights, but 2 split pushes by Scarra on Zed seems to even the odds for Dignitas. However, after winning a major team fight, Curse takes the game with a final desperate push on the Nexus, just as the death timers for Dignitas start to run out.
But now Curse is going to be on a counterattack because 60 minutes in, those death timers are gargantuan, and there is a lot of damage still up for Curse as they try the counter push.
5 seconds, 7 seconds on these timers.
Soon.
They're going for that
It's a
Nexus
race.
turret. It's going to be a shot for it. They're going for the Nexus. It's going to be Curse.
Scar's
Went
up.
0-3 last week. They don't want it to happen again, but they could be thwarted. Scar doing big damage.
How low is
a
it?
few more hits, and Curse is able to take the game at 60 minutes.
Velocity vs TSM was a pretty one-sided game in TSM's favor. TSM shut down all of Velocity's objective attempts, and some great Karthus plays by Reginald. A great sneak attack by Wild Turtle on Twitch gives TSM a 4-for-0 trade, allowing them to invade Velocity's base and take out their top and middle inhibitors. In the match between Vulcan and Cloud9, too many mistakes by Cloud9 gave the advantage to Vulcan, holding all of the objectives against Cloud9. This was an important game for Vulcan as they were able to break Cloud9's winning streak and lock second place for the season. But this could have been partially because one of the top-rated teams in the NALCS did so poorly. A poorly thought face check by Balls on Elise gives Vulcan first blood, followed up by another face check by Meteos on Jarvan, which gives Smithy the kill.
Interesting little slow-mo kick, but that's gonna be enough for him. Smithy lurking in wait and playing chicken. Steals ways from the jungle too.
TSM vs Team Coast. TSM takes the early lead thanks to some stunning support play by X Special on Sona. Without his well-timed crescendos, TSM wouldn't have gained the advantage, and Team Coast might not have taken the game. A perfectly timed flash crescendo saves both the Odd One and Dyrus on Jarvan and Rumble, and gives him a kill on Zion Spartan. Velocity vs Curse, some great plays by both teams, but Curse clearly had the advantage most of the game. Jackie on Orianna gets chased down by Chris on Elise, and it was extremely close, but Jackie was able to barely escape, having just enough mana to use his Dissidence. Thinking he's safe in the brush, Jackie begins to recall, and well, just watch.
He's gonna jump. He's gonna do it. Shh.
Is he gonna guess? He's
Don't.
guessing there. He's going for it. He gets it. Oh, he's gonna get it. There's the shield. It's gonna be the let's bounce, and it's gonna be the let's get out of here.
Vulcan vs Team Coast, very close game overall, but Vulcan was able to pull away with a better gold lead and eventually take the game. Zion Spartan on Kha'Zix ambushed Psycho Sid for an easy kill, but doesn't realize that Zack's passive is up. Psycho Sid rises from the grave and exacts his revenge on Zion Spartan for his first kill of the game. Velocity vs Vulcan, Man Cloud on Diana, and Zuna on Vayne were a scary combo as they bullied Velocity most of the game. NK Inc. on Singed thinks the best escape route from Smithy is through the enemy's base. He takes a few moments to show off his impressive dance moves until Bloodwater and Psycho Sid are forced to intervene and take him down. And finally, Cloud9 vs TSM, Sneaky on Ashe was able to snowball his way through the early game, and before TSM realized he was carrying Cloud9 to victory with a 15-3-11 kill death assist. Now, the show's almost over, but before we wrap up, I want to tell you guys about a sponsor that helps make this show possible. Shutterstock.com is a must-have resource for anyone in the creative industry. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock.com helps you take your projects to the next level. Seriously guys, this isn't some product we're just trying to sell you. I actually use this myself. I just finished the visual effects on my very first feature film, and whether I was using the stock elements of blood or even their ink drops to create their motion titles, even a composite shot where I had to make a moon on a shot of a tree, I found these elements at Shutterstock.com. You can try Shutterstock today without using a credit card by signing up for a free account and save all of your favorite images to a lightbox to review them later. Once you're ready to purchase, use the offer code GAMEBREAKER8 and you'll receive 30% off your new account. That does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. Be sure to check back every week on Thursday for updated League of Legends news. If you guys like this video, head on over to youtube.com/LOLNationTV and subscribe and comment below as it helps spread our audience. I'm Mike Shaffnet. You guys can follow me on Twitter @Mike Shaffnet. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next Waypoint.
Game Breaker TV.